Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're into camping, backpacking, or just enjoy testing outdoor camping gear, you're in the right place. In a recent video, I compared the Toaks stove with a simple stick stove and a ground fire for speed and performance. I expected the Toaks stove to win out because it's a gasifier, but actually the simple stick stove was considerably quicker. Some of the commenters pointed out that I had loaded the gasifier stove incorrectly and should have used a top-down fire lane. But will this make any difference? Today, we're going to find out. We're going to test different lighting methods to see which one really gets this stove going the quickest and boils water in the least time. So here's the plan. I'll be testing two different methods today. First, I'm going to try the bottom-up lighting technique, which is probably the most intuitive way to start a fire. Then I'll go with the top-down lighting technique. This should be better for a gasifier stove. For each test, I'll measure how long it takes for the stove to reach full combustion, as well as the time to bring a pot of water to a rolling boil. So let's get started. First thing I need to do is go and collect some firewood. So I'm going to harvest some of the sticks from this down pine branch. It's been down for about a year, so it's pretty dry, and it's pine, so it'll probably burn much more efficiently than the oak that I used last time. It's pretty dry, so let's get it in a bucket and let's get going. That should be enough. Let's get going with the first test. This is the Toaks titanium gasifier stove. It comes in three different components, and I'm going to show you the correct assembly method right now. So this is it set up correctly with this gas hole that appears at the top. You'll notice I can lift that out, and then there's another component here. This is the main firebox. This firebox slots into this piece. I know I'm doing this incorrectly to demonstrate the double wall. So this component drops into this outer, and you can see we have a oxygen inlet here at the base and an oxygen inlet around the sides, which enables oxygen to come out through these gasifier holes here. I had it set up like this, with this third component dropped on the top. Looks fine, however this is not set up correctly. This should be this way around, and you'll notice it doesn't fit, doesn't stay, doesn't rest on this way. So I imagine a lot of people are using this in this orientation. What you're actually supposed to do, remove the inner firebox, and then this goes all the way through like that. So this is the top component, and then the base slides on over here like this. This has a couple of advantages. It lifts up the base here by a few millimeters, which means there's more area for air, for oxygen to get into it. It also means it seems to be slightly more stable, but I'm pretty sure by the time that I've got a kettle on the top of this, it's still going to be very wobbly. It also means you can't remove this during the boil in order to feed more sticks into it. But let's get this set up. For the first burn, we're going to use a bottom-up approach. So I'm going to place a fire lighter in the base, and then we're going to build the wood, the sticks on top of it to get the fire running. So first thing we need to do is get the fire plug going. So you give these a little twist, work them a little bit to try and get some fibres. Yeah, it's loosening up nicely now. So I don't normally use these if I'm just in the wood. But I do use them when I'm on canoe trips because they're really small. So I'm going to drop that into there. Let's get that going. And now let's start off by feeding in some smaller sticks. It's already a fantastic smell coming off that wood. Right, and we're off. So I'm using the same mug just to make sure we've got the exact same amounts of water that we're using compared to last time, although the tests aren't directly comparable because it's a different type of wood. Fill this up, and then I need to decant this into the kettle. That's 3 minutes 35 seconds and we are off. So I'll pop the kettle on and let's see how we get on to boil the water. You can see from the wobble there just how unstable that item is. So you've got a very small feeding hole on this, and when you're feeding you're running the risk of tipping the boiling water all over your hand. Got a lot of smoke coming from it, but the flames have died down. I am adding some oxygen into the base. There we go. Now we're running. I can already hear the water starting to boil, and we are at 3 minutes 35 seconds again, which is an awful lot quicker. It's not there yet, but I can hear, you know, when you hear the sound of the water starting to move around inside the kettle, I can hear that that's kicking off. So that's a good sign. We've got some steam coming out, but we're not at boiling yet. I may need to add some more sticks in. So I've just lifted the kettle off. As you can see, we basically burnt through all of the wood and the water isn't boiling. So I'm going to add some more wood in and get us going again. Right, we're going again. We are now we're 12 minutes in. And it's required an awful lot of oxygen to get it going. Bottom up certainly doesn't work, but I'm not 100% sure if the issue is actually the size of the firebox. You can't get enough wood in there to get the burn first time around. Certainly how it feels at the moment. However, this is testing it with a bottom-up lit fire, which is not what you're supposed to do. I know it's what I did last time. I'm hoping this time we're going to be able to get to full boil. 22 minutes to get to a full rolling boil. That's a really long time to boil a cup of water. Interestingly, I had to reload it 3 times. Each time takes time to get the firebox going again. I suspect what I'm going to find when I dismantle the firebox and all the wood is burned through is that actually there's now a thick layer of ash lying on the very base of the firebox, which is preventing any oxygen from going up inside the firebox, which is damaging the combustion. So we're going to try top down next. Really interested to see if this works. Like I said in the last video, this item cost me 40 quid. I bought the titanium one. I really wanted to use this, and at the moment I'm just finding it's garbage. I can't use it. It's too slow, too awkward, and requires a lot of management to actually get anything to boil. So please, fingers crossed, let's hope top load works much more efficiently. So let's give it a go. I'm going to stack some larger sticks at the base, and then smaller sticks up at the top. Put the fire lighter, set the fire lighter, and let's go. Same drill as before, and I'll time everything from the beginning. Put that in there, and pop some more smaller sticks in on the top. Now I'm going to fill this all the way to the top, because I know from what happened last time that you're constantly refueling. And I started the timer. I've also added the kettle onto the top straight away, so I've only just started the fire. Stick the kettle in the top, may as well make use of the heat. I will still measure the amount of time it takes for the combustion to start to look like it's really on fire. So at about 4 minutes it was burning reasonably. I'd now say it's worked through most of the fuel at the top, and is hopefully starting to work through the wood at the base, but we'll see. Doesn't look like it's really got going, ripping like the last one. We're at 14 minutes, the water's not boiled, and we are basically out. So the gasifier has not pulled enough oxygen in to keep that combustion going. It's still going, but there's no flames. It's completely out, 20 minutes in, and I'm giving up on top down. It didn't work. I really wanted this to work. I gotta say I'm disappointed. I can't explain it. I mean, I'm tempted to blame the wood. I'm tempted to say the issue is that maybe the wood's wet, but it's snapping, it seems pretty dry, and to be honest, I was able to get the bottom-up fire going well. It just didn't function as I expected it to. Maybe I'd overloaded the lower components, maybe more testing is needed, maybe it's just time to give up and just go with the plain old stick stove, which worked extremely well. got my water boiling very, very quickly, was much cheaper to buy, is flatter packed and easier to use. But let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really eager to try and get some better performance out of this. You know, I know I could go and get a log, and I know I could split it down and get to really, really dry, bone dry wood inside. I've got it, I've got the axes, I've got everything I need to do that. But that's not the scenario I'm working with. The scenario I'm working with is, what do I take on my wilderness trips? It's got to be reliable, it's got to be quick, because you're always in a rush, you're always under time pressure to make your daily distance, and there's a lot of jobs that you've got to do through the course of the day. So what's the best thing to take? And right now, it's most definitely not the Toaks Gasifier stove. I've tried it. I must have lit 4 or 5 attempted burns through this. None of them has been efficient. They've all required extra oxygen, they've all required extra work, and not only that, but actually because of the design of the stove, it's very difficult to add the extra oxygen into it. Do you have this stove? If you've got this stove, please let me know how you're getting along with it. Let me know what strategies you've used to get it lighting. Are you happy with it? I'm really eager to learn, find out more. Personally, from my own experience, I don't think I'll be using this on any of the longer trips. But if there's something I've missed, something I've not done right, I really want to know. Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.